Live from our studios at number 5, Ola Hansen Lane at Tesano here in Accra. This is the Channel 1 Newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Coming up. Authorities are sure of strict safety measures following successful Phase 1 launch of T-beams for the Tetekwashi Interchange Bridge expansion.
If of our staff, and of course the workers and the public is of very prime concern to us. It is not because we want to construct a bridge or construct a facility and anybody will die. We want zero, incidents here.
Also coming up, group threatens protest over ongoing dispute between Ghana Airports Company Limited and Magdan Aviation.
It was very easy for anyone to establish a company like that of Magdan. They wouldn't seek employment at the airport companies, as workers of the port. They will also go and create employment. It is not that easy. So people who dare to put investment into such critical areas should not be perturbed.
Health Ministry secures financial clearance to pay thousands of workers undergoing mandatory service. I'm Charles Osukume, grateful to you for your time. Let's get into the details of our stories. And Phase 1 of T-beam launching for the expansion of the Tetekwashi Interchange Bridge has begun as engineers work to ease congestion along one of Accra's busiest transport corridors. The work, which was originally scheduled to begin on March 9, was suspended following heavy vehicular traffic due to the closure of parts of the road. Authorities say strict safety measures are now in place to protect both motorists and construction workers.
I'm currently here at the Tetekwashi Interchange, where engineers have begun the first phase of the launching works as part of expansion of the bridge. The works were initially scheduled to begin on Monday, March 9, but had to be postponed due to heavy vehicular traffic following the closure of sections of the road. The Tetekwashi Interchange remains one of Accra's busiest traffic hubs, linking the N1 highway, Spintex Road and Liberation Road. But increasing traffic volumes have placed growing pressure on the infrastructure, prompting the expansion as part of the Accra-Tema Motorway expansion project.
We are expanding the motorway into a 10-lane, carriageway. So you have the expressway in the middle, which has 2 lanes on either side, which is a 2-lane dual carriageway, and then the urban highway has 3 lanes in each section. So once you have 10 lanes, the volume of traffic that is going to come here will be heavy. We want to ensure that they can easily maneuver onto the ramps and go, maybe make either a right turn or a left turn as they desire at this full cloverleaf interchange. This is just Phase 1. Phase 2 will be to extend it all the way to Apenkwa. And then Phase 3 will be from Tesano to New Plan Junction. So these are all phased, but we have to do them one phase at a time.
Engineers say the T-beam being launched weighs about 140 tons and measures roughly 40 meters in length, an indication of the scale and complexity of the construction works. Speaking to Channel 1 News, the chief resident engineer for the project, Kobna Bimpon, assured that all safety protocols are being strictly followed during the operation.
You remember we had an issue previously where there were some lapses, even though some of them were not as a result of poor planning. But then we want to ensure that we do not have any challenge so far as third parties are concerned. Even for us as parties involved, we don't want to have any challenge because the life of our staff, that and of course the workers and the public is of very prime concern to us. It is not because we want to construct a bridge or construct a facility and anybody will die. We want zero, incidents here. So that is why we are carefully watching and directing the contractor to ensure that best practices and safety are observed.
Channel 1 News also observed improved traffic flow on Saturday after authorities revised the initial traffic management plan, diverting vehicles through alternative routes to ease congestion around the construction zone. Meanwhile, authorities have mapped out several alternative routes to help motorists bypass the construction zone, including diversions through the airport bypass, Flowerport Junction, the East Legon Underpass, and North Airport Road.
No community or no city develops without critical infrastructure as being seen in the background. Now, the bottom line of this project is to ease the traffic congestion which is being recorded within the capital. For Channel 1 News, I am Emmanuel Opong.
Well, let's now head to the Ashanti region, where residents of Ninahin are increasingly concerned about the stalled Agenda 111 hospital project. Our regional correspondent, Bright Ebua, has more.
An announcement by the majority leader in Parliament, Mahama Yariga, on February 3, 2026, that 10 Agenda 111 hospital facilities are expected to be completed in 2026 has raised concerns about whether the Nyinahini project will be included in the list. The unfinished hospital intended to serve Nyinahini and surrounding communities has become a source of worry for residents. The project, designed to improve healthcare access, has been left unattended, leaving many to wonder about its future. The delay is putting a strain on existing health facilities, forcing residents to travel long distances for medical care.
So be very serious within a free yan peseti have drew gino traffic near a how womb and to sank a bit bang when you ha a beboy ama obu hokra na I was so young kwan so nam traffic near intino. It's me a hard dream be brave.
Kofinyam krom bibia bi wo ho. Koko wo ho, boode wo ho. Mfudie, omo de mfudie nkwan na omo ye. Titru hospital kwa bi ni krom. Tikenya kakra bi kura wo krom se ja obi ho dodo no kura na obetimi akọ na omo kase bi a kwa ha ana kwa ha. Eno so be bo no.
Ti omo amuo enyinam so serebo so titru ye kan say agogosofo no. Omo na ben omo ye de. Omo pi na ye de kase bi a
The district chief executive for Atwimamponua district, Ishaq Ibrahim, emphasizes the importance of the hospital, noting its potential to improve healthcare delivery and create jobs for local nurses. He is appealing to the government to expedite the project.
Looking at Atwimamponua being sent off for district, where we share boundaries with Atwima, Wabieja, Bibieni, Hafo, and Manso. So we are central here, and I'm told that the only district have this Agenda 111 hospital around. So when it's complete, it's a morning. All these communities, instead of going to Kofono to other federal facility, will come to this hospital to have good health care. So we pray to the government to complete it for us. And we have nothing technically to run. So once it's complete, it serve a very good place for education training.
The community is hoping for a swift resolution to ensure that the hospital meets the increasing healthcare demands, especially during medical emergencies.
Now, back in Accra, a former Auditor General, Daniel Yao Domelevo, has called for the immediate suspension of public officials cited for financial misappropriation. In the latest Auditor General's report, he argues that officials named in the report should first be suspended to allow for investigations to proceed without interference and, if cleared of wrongdoing, reinstated with their full benefits. Daniel Odro-Mensah has more.
Daniel Domelevo's comments come amid growing debate over the Auditor General's report on government arrears and payables as of 2024, which has raised concerns about the management of billions of cedis owed to contractors and suppliers. Speaking on the weekend current affairs program, The Big Issue on CTFM and Channel 1 TV, Daniel Yao Domelevo stressed the need for firm administrative sanctions against public officials found culpable.
One of the things that we are not talking about much is the fact that in the public service, the condition of service of all public servants requires that anytime you are found complicit in doing something wrong or any malpractices, the first thing we do is to suspend you or interdict you, and then you are investigated. If after the investigation it is found that you are not complicit, you are just called back to continue your job and you are paid all your salary arrears.
An aide to the new Patriotic Party flag bearer, Akosia Menu, said sanctions against public officials implicated in the report should not be limited to the current findings, but should also cover issues raised in previous Auditor General's reports.
We align and we agree that people ultimately should be held accountable.
But it's pointing fingers at your administration, right?
No, I'm saying that in this particular instance, 8 billion claims thrown out in debt audit. It cannot be that somebody creates this crime scene only for the audit to review that. It is not true. Beyond that, there are claims that date back several years. We need to, if we're going to punish, we won't start just from a certain time frame. We have to go all the way back.
Security analyst Dr. Ishmael Norman criticized what he described as Ghana's lenient criminal justice system, stressing the need for tougher sanctions against public officials implicated in the report.
Somebody goes to steal a goat, he's arrested and jailed for 2.5 years. Somebody goes to steal 2 million, 10 million, he's not even arrested.
So for you should start marching people to the public square and shooting them?
No, after justice has been rendered.
Okay.
And if it is recommended, because we don't have the death penalty, some of these people, they walk
but life
and
in
go
prison.
and enjoy their money.
But life in prison is the same as death penalty.
Life in prison so that we care for them, spend more money on them.
Is just one kinky and a head of fish.
Have you ever gone to someone prison to see where they put the political prisoners?
Yes, I've been.
It's not in the general population. The political prisoners are not in the general population.
So they continue to have classism even in
we
incarceration.
do. This country is all about elitism. We even in the prison system, we have class system there. You know, so I think we are too soft, very, very soft, because sometimes we let political decisions override criminal justice system.
Touching on the more than 500,000 young people seeking enlistment into the security services despite only 5,000 available vacancies, the Member of Parliament for Yendi, Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan, called for the development of systems to reduce the overwhelming number of youth seeking employment in the security sector.
From the word go, we knew we were taking 5,000 people. We should not have allowed the numbers to grow ad infinitum. We should have created a system where if we know we are taking 5,000 people, we should not allow more than, say, 100,000 people or 50,000 people to apply. Once you get to 50,000 people, the system must automatically cut it.
President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, urged government to prioritize investment in building the country's industrial base and strengthening technical and vocational education.
The whole point is simple. We really need to focus on building the skill, building things that would build build the industrial base of this country. Free SHS is a great thing. Yes, people now complain that, oh, it's because of free SHS, that's why everybody wants to work in it. Of course, it's a great thing. But you see, the value of free SHS, we still don't know the value. Because until it adds significantly to the economy of this country, I've not seen the value yet.
On fuel prices projected to rise in the second pricing window from March 16, alongside reductions in utility tariffs, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Hamwa, warned that escalating tensions in the Middle East could erase the gains Ghana's energy sector has recorded over the past 15 months.
What is going to happen on Monday, if the numbers we have also picked locally is anything to go by, this single event is going to wipe out all the gains that we chalked the past 15 months. If you recall, from January 2025 up until now, a lot of successes, week on week, month on month. Fewer price reductions are announced.
You're watching the Channel 1 Newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Still ahead. Health Ministry secures financial clearance to pay thousands of health workers and
Sweden Secondary School invites all alumni and stakeholders to the 67th anniversary and homecoming celebrations. It's happening from Friday the 20th of March to Sunday the 22nd of March 2026. On Friday, How I Got There, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Year groups check-in and roll call. Gary Soakins competition. Cadet course ceremony from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. All students convoy. Drive to Swesco, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Candlelight procession from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Welcome cocktail with alumni and staff of the school. Meet and greet with Compa Band performing live at the forecourt of the school complex from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, speech and prize giving day from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. All year groups lunch from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Alumni dance party from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. On Sunday, anniversary Thanksgiving service at 8 a.m. A great opportunity to reconnect with your old mates. Contact your year group president now. Semper Cum Optimus, always with the best.
On this happy trip back.
You're welcome back. This is the Channel 1 Newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Let's now focus on health. The Ministry for the sector has announced that it has secured financial clearance to pay thousands of health workers undergoing mandatory service, a move expected to clear salary backlogs and introduce a new monthly payment system. Now, in a statement signed by the spokesperson for the ministry, Tony Goodman, the ministry says the approval from the Finance Ministry covers allowances and salaries for over 14,000 rotation nurses and midwives, as well as over 600 medical and dental house officers across the country. Now, fortunately, we have the spokesperson for the ministry, Tony Goodman, joining us via telephone. Good evening to you, Tony. Thank you for your time here on the Channel 1 Newsroom. You're welcome. Good news that we've now secured clearance for the payments of these health workers. When are we expecting the money to hit the accounts?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes. We have received financial clearance for 14,000 and above rotation nurses and allied health professionals. We've also received financial clearance for 6,307 financial clearance for medical officers who are currently doing their mandatory service and currently at various hospitals. In the past, they will finish before these allowances are accumulated and paid to them. But you remember the Honorable Minister has said that it is proper for us to start paying them from the beginning of their service. So this is the first of its kind. Before the completion of their rotation, we have gotten this clearance for them. The Minister is also saying that going forward, every month, if you start your rotation or mandatory service, every month we should be able to pay you your allowance or remuneration. So that is what currently changed in the status quo.
I mean, are we paying all the outstanding, or we're paying half?
No, so this one is everything. Since you started your service, normally 1 year mandatory service, so everything will be paid to you.
Have you had conversations with the health workers? Because we know that usually they would want the money at the end of their service and then they'll have it in bulk?
No, we have also spoken with them, and we know that they want to actually receive it as and when at the end of the month they take their salary. They don't want to wait till the end of the year before they get their money. So that is why this has actually happened. You remember the recent group that person strike action and demonstration?
Mm-hmm.
Was actually demonstration nurses who have actually completed their mandatory service and have not been paid for a very long time from, I think, 2024, and then we went to pay them. This is the next batch, and we have made sure that they are paid in between. So going forward, we want them to receive their allowances every month, like any other person who is working in the public service.
All right. I mean, are there any other categories of health workers still awaiting this financial clearance?
Currently, we have cleared everybody in the sector. The good news is that the Honorable Minister for Health and the Minister for Finance have worked to clear these allowances and salaries. Where we are now is some of the staff we need to employ to augment the fleet we have. So we are making sure that within a week or two, we will receive some clearance to deal with those numbers we want to add to the staff we currently have.
What about the backlog of health professionals still awaiting employment? What is the current status?
So that is why I just said that we are expecting financial clearance within a week or two to actually recruit some numbers that may help in terms of healthcare delivery, and the number that will actually be that's the part of our budget will actually affect.
Okay, I mean, you are very close with these health professionals. How critical is this very intervention in terms of boosting morale of these nurses and medical professionals?
No, this particular payment or clearance that has come will boost the morale of the healthcare professionals in the country. This is a new direction. This has brought a new wave in terms of how allowances are paid. It will boost morale. And we believe that anybody who would complete service will not hesitate at all to do their mandatory service. They will at all times be ready to do their service. And any part of the country post them, they will go and then do their service because they know that at the end of the day, they will receive some remuneration.
All right. Thank you very much, Tony. Tony Goodman is the spokesperson for the Health Ministry. Away from health, the minority leader Alexander Penyamakin has condemned a warning issued by the Ghana Education Service to teachers against picketing, describing the directive as unconstitutional. In a letter, the Ghana Education Service said it had taken note of a growing phenomenon where some teachers act outside laid-down administrative channels to raise their concerns and instead resort to picketing during working hours. However, Alexander Penyamakin argued that the directive infringes on the constitutional rights of teachers. There is more in the following report by Channel 1 News' parliamentary correspondent Ni Ayukwe.
In a directive dated March 9, 2026, and addressed to regional directors of education, the Ghana Education Service warned teachers against bypassing established administrative procedures when raising concerns. The service said it had observed a growing trend where some teachers form unrecognized splinter groups and storm the headquarters to press home their grievances. According to the directive, teachers must follow laid-down administrative channels and avoid sidestepping local education authorities to lodge complaints at the national office. However, reacting to the developments on the floor of Parliament, the minority leader Alexander Penyamakin described the directive as unacceptable.
GES, Mr. Speaker, has warned teachers against picketing during working hours and advised them to use official channels to address their concerns. Mr. Speaker, I am happy seeing my big brother, the Honorable Minister of Education. I'm happy seeing him in the chamber. I think this is an opportune time for the majority leader to program him to fully brief us on this situation. Mr. Speaker, you cannot use administrative fiat to deny somebody his constitutional bona fides. That right to demonstrate, to picket, is being denied teachers. Mr. Speaker, that you are issuing threats when you are not there. The Director General of GS, he's forgotten you yourself, you are a lawyer, and you would embrace in your practice. You practice in the area of human rights, and a constitutional bona fide is being denied. Mr. Speaker, this is unacceptable, and the minister would have to come and brief us on this matter.
He also urged the Ministry of Education to immediately engage the Ministry of Finance to release funds for the recruitment of more teachers.
The teachers need clearance. Put pressure on the finance minister. He's your junior brother. Tell him to approve for you to recruit. It's not enough to tell the media that it's not your responsibility. That's unacceptable, Honorable Minister of Education. I'm sorry, today is your first day at work, but we need to do our job. The teachers are suffering. Yes, of course, we all know. We all know the situation, and we wish him well. He's our brother. Mr. Speaker, we need the teachers to be employed. They need to be recruited. Is it a sin to train as a teacher? Didn't you promise employment? And then all that the minister says is that the finance minister has not given clearance. You sit in cabinet with him, talk to him, and engage him, and get him to give you clearance. Instead of you people paying attention to the critical issues in the economy, you are fighting over who will succeed President Mahama.
Well, let's stay in Parliament. Some of the MPs are calling on the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission to ensure strict enforcement of quality assurance standards in private universities following the approval of the Education Regulatory Body's Amendment Bill 2026. The amended law removes the 6-year timeline previously required for private universities to secure a presidential charter and also makes the acquisition of the charter optional. Now, speaking on the floor of Parliament, some MPs welcomed the initiative but cautioned that the new arrangements must not lead to a compromise in academic standards. Again, Nia Ikuyokai reports.
Parliament on Friday approved the Education Regulatory Body's Amendments Bill 2026, making the acquisition of a presidential charter by private universities optional and removing the mandatory 6-year timeline previously required for chartering. Government explained that the compulsory charter requirement created practical challenges for private institutions, many of which struggled to meet the 6-year deadline due to the high fees payable to the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. According to the Education Committee of Parliament, the previous arrangements could have forced some private institutions to shut down, potentially disrupting the education of thousands of Ghanaian students enrolled in those schools. However, speaking on the floor of Parliament, some members of Parliament called on the GTEC to strictly enforce quality assurance measures to maintain high academic standards across private tertiary institutions.
The private owners believe that they are trying to support government to increase the tertiary enrollment ratio, which we call the gross tertiary enrollment ratio. And as such, to support, they will want to remain until a time that they think they are fully ready to be chartered, and also don't want to be burdened with the issue of having to compete within these times for the number of students, because we realize that some of the institutions, some of the public institutions have open campuses around their location. We don't want to downplay quality and standards, and as such, the role of GTEC will still be enforced, and we will also follow up to make sure that they don't bring down quality in our tertiary education. Mr. Speaker, with this, I believe this amendment is something that we have to support.
Our private universities are already paying huge fees to their mentor institutions by way of affiliation fees, and so they are going to find it difficult to meet this substantial financial reserve which is required of them. And so, Speaker, I believe that this call for us to amend this act is a call in the right direction. This measure should not be a way of compromising on the provision of quality tertiary education. And I believe that, Mr. Speaker, the private universities have listened to the minister and that this amendment will only help to enhance the provision of private tertiary education.
Quality assurance is an ongoing process. And even though we are going through the optional angle, I would urge the GTEC to ensure that they do their job effectively and upholding the tenets of quality assurance.
Oh, this is still the Channel 1 Newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Still ahead. Tax on gold mining companies reduced from 3% to 1% following the passage of Growth and Sustainability.
This Easter, as homes fill with laughter, shared meals, and love, pause for a moment and remember a child who has no one to celebrate with. Across Ghana, children in selected orphanages are hoping for care, hoping for comfort, hoping for kindness. You can be the reason a child smiles this Easter. Support the Easter Orphan Project 2026. Your donation in cash or in kind will provide warm meals, clothing, school supplies, and essential care for their well-being. Send your mobile money donation to 0550-900-006 or write a check in the name of the City FM Foundation. You may also bring your donation to Channel 1 TV in Tesano, Accra, Ghana. You can donate milk, sugar, rice, toys, books, or detergent. For more information, visit www.citynewsroom.com or call 0550-900-006 or 0302-226-013. The Easter Orphan Project comes off on Monday, 6 April 2026 and is powered by 97.3 City FM with support from Channel 1 TV. This Easter, let your kindness light up a child's life.
Feel the energy and reconnect with your roots this March at the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2026. Join us for a celebration of Ghanaian culture and cuisine from all across the country. Northern, Akan, and Southern villages will all be represented. It's more than just food. It's about culture, family, and memories that last a lifetime. Let's come together this March to discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 28th and 29th of March 2026. Venue is the A4 Sutherland Children's Park. The time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day. Interested vendors can register by calling 0205-973-973. The Back to Your Village Food Festival is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 City FM.
Thank you for staying with us here on the Channel 1 Newsroom. Now let's head back to Parliament. The House has passed the Growth and Sustainability Levy Amendment Bill 2026, reducing the tax on gold mining companies from 3% of gross production to 1%. Now the move forms part of efforts to cushion gold mining firms following the introduction of the Minerals and Mining Royalty Regulations 2025, which currently pegs the royalty rates on gold mining firms at 12%. Now, joining us via telephone is the Chief Executive of the Chamber of Mines, Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe. Good evening to you, Doc. I'm grateful to you here on the Channel 1 Newsroom. I mean, we know the concerns that have been raised following the introduction of the sliding scale. This one must come as some good news for the mining companies.
Well, thank you very much, and have a good evening. Well, we're grateful to government for doing the reduction from 3 to 2%. The Minister for Finance at the breakfast meeting with the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources with the Ghana Chamber of Mines had promised that this 2% was going to go, and it was going to go as the LI was going to come up. But the point we made to the Minister was that it was not going to be. The interesting thing is that growth and sustainability is not tax deductible. That is left is, as we speak today, the royalties that Ghanaian mining firms are going to be paying soon is going to be 13.54%. And the interesting thing is that currently, if you compare us globally in the world, we would only be second to Mali. And so, you know, that is how high the taxes that are on Ghana is going to be. So that if you look at the share of rent, that is the profits that comes out of mining, gold mining, for the profit government would not be taking close to 6%. So this would definitely be a disincentive for new investments, which would then mean that at this time where gold prices are high.
Well, looks like we're having some difficulty with Dr. Ken Ashigbe's line there. We're speaking to him about the reduction of tax, the growth and sustainability levy on mining companies from 3 to 1%. We'll try and get him back on the line. But before that, the coalition of Gadangbe pressure groups is threatening to take to the streets if the government doesn't step in to resolve the ongoing dispute between Magdan Aviation and the Ghana Airports Company Limited. The group believes the issues surrounding the private jet terminal at Kotoka International Airport could hurt investor confidence if not handled transparently and fairly. Here is more in the following report.
The disagreement between Magdan and the Ghana Airports Company Limited stems from long-standing issues over dirt and how the private jet terminal operates. In December 2024, the Ghana Airports Company Limited shuts down the Magdan Aviation private jet terminal, saying they owed over $3 million in land leases, terminal rent, and other fees. Although Magdan disputes some of the debt and says they have made payments, the tensions have continued. Speaking at a press conference in Accra, leaders of the coalition warned they might organize a protest if the authorities do not quickly get involved.
If the government fails to listen, we will hit the streets and we will let them understand. We will register our displeasure through constitutional and lawful means. We will hit the streets. But they should remember, this is what I always want them to remember, that they are there because of us. It is the power of our thumbs that have put them at the respective places, that the positions that they occupy. And if they don't take the decisions that will be in the best of the interest of Ghanaians or the best interest of Ghanaians, then that is problematic. And if it was very easy for anyone to establish a company like that of Magdan, they wouldn't seek employment at the airport companies as workers of the port. They will also go and create employment. It is not that easy. So people who dare to put investment into such critical areas should not be perturbed. They should not be people that we are joking around with and saying they will be held to high standards. Which standards?
The coalition also warns that the uncertainty around the dispute could worry local business people who invest heavily in important sectors.
Ghana must remain a country where private investment, especially from indigenous entrepreneurs, is protected and encouraged. If Ghanaian investors begin to feel unsafe and vulnerable in their own country, the consequences of national development could be significant. Investors who commit millions of dollars to strategic sectors, such as aviation, must be assured that their investments will be treated fairly and protected under the rule of law. Whether one personally supports the businessman behind the McDonald Group or not, it cannot be denied that the company made a substantial contribution to Ghana's aviation sector.
Well, this is still the Channel 1 Newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Engineer Ken Ashigbe, who is the CEO for the Chamber of Mines, is back on the line with us. Earlier, he was helping us discuss the matter of the reduction of the growth and sustainability levy on mining companies from 3 to 1%. Engineer Ken Ashigbe, you were talking to us about the impact of this on investments into the mining sector.
Right. So what I was saying again is that if you consider the fact that now we have 1% growth and sustainability levy, and then we also have passed the LI that fixes the royalty on gold between 5 and 12%. Then at today's price of gold of over $5,000, it would mean that mining firms will be paying 13.54 because every 1% of growth and sustainability translates to 1.54% because growth and sustainability is not tax deductible. And what it is that it puts Ghana just behind Mali in terms of countries that have a higher take. And that also means that for what is happening is that for the profits, that comes out of mining, government is taking close to 56%. And that definitely becomes a disincentive for mining firms. So normally what would happen is that with this high price of gold, you will find out that all bodies that would not have been touched in the past because the grade is low should ordinarily have been brought into the processing plant so that you would be able to process that and get a lot more gold because your margins are high, though at a higher cost. That would not happen. It also would mean that investments that are coming into this country would now have to, the economics of that and the cost of that investment will have to take into consideration this high royalty rate. And it will mean that some investment that you need for expansion, to extend the life of mines, for new projects, and all of that might be threatened. The Chamber engaged Ernst & Young to do some work for us. And the report that they gave us was a projected $7 billion that is projected as capital expenditure for the next 5 years. That could be under threat. If that goes under threat, what it means is that about 1.3 million jobs that could have been associated with that amount of investment will be lost to this country. If that is lost to this country, what it would mean is that the PAYE that government would have gotten would also be lost. It would mean that the import duties that could be associated with those projects would also be lost. It then means that in the long term, the revenues that could come to Ghana government itself would suffer. And the interesting thing is that the Honorable Minister for Finance went to Parliament to present the gold reserve project. And in that one, he lamented the fact that the oil and gas sector is suffering because policies have been taken in the past that have negatively affected investment into the oil and gas sector. And true, we know that some of those policies led to ENI leaving Ghana. ENI has currently announced a major fine in Cote d'Ivoire because they've gone investing into Cote d'Ivoire. If we do this, the unintended consequences is that investment will move from this country and it could easily move to Cote d'Ivoire. Recently, the Fraser's report that was done on investment attractiveness of mining jurisdictions, Cote d'Ivoire has beaten us to it. So that's why we are urging government, and we continue to engage government that like Gaty press conference that the press statement that they issued that are asking for GSL to go down to zero. We believe that GSL should go down to zero, and government should also look into the proposal we had made. The chamber is not averse to sliding scale. We have proposed that we should do a sliding scale after taking GSL of 4% to 8%, and then we could put 1% of net profits into a dedicated fund so that the people in this mining communities could also say that when price of gold went up, this is the amount of money we set aside that had gone into projects within their communities as we use the rest of the royalty to take care of the entire country. So we are still going to continue to engage the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the Minister for Finance, and the whole government, and including His Excellency the President, urging that we need to find a sweet spot for the royalties. It's important. As prices of gold has gone up, Ghana also should benefit from it. But let's fix it at a point that is beneficial to all of us, and then make sure that the sector is also going to do. Let me give you an example. In Guinea, for example, what has happened with the price of gold going up? The minister for, the equivalent minister for mines has invited the mining companies and asking what is it that government can do for them to be able to increase their output. Because you see, the royalties that we're getting when price of gold was 2,500 or 3,500 at 5%, even without changing your royalty, at $5,000, your royalty has gone up.
Right.
So if we increase just by a little bit and enable the mining firms to rather ramp up in terms of their volumes, then we would grow, the income to government will grow, a lot more jobs will be created, a lot more infrastructure will be developed, a lot more corporate social investments in these communities would also happen.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Engineer Ken Asibwe is the CEO for the Ghana Chamber of Mines. Let's now head to the Volta region. Residents of Aklo-Fuji in the Alonga district of that region are calling for urgent government intervention to address what they describe as long-standing development challenges in the community. The concerns range from a poor road network to a struggling health facility and inadequate school infrastructure. They are appealing to authorities, particularly the Ministry of Roads and Highways and other relevant agencies, to prioritize the area and help improve their living conditions. Our Volta regional correspondent Desmond Salasiago reports.
For more than 4 decades, the main road serving the community has remained untouched. Residents say the dusty and uneven stretch becomes almost impassable during the rainy season, making movements extremely difficult. Farmers and traders say the situation continues to affect their ability to transport produce to larger markets, often resulting in financial losses. Emergency situations are also affected as vehicles, including ambulances, struggle to access the community because of the poor road condition.
Daka asabemano vavama dudu masiama vavama dudu amaga magaro uchachitra daka madu nafuno weyida anu afwa madu kaka waba waku mutu patapata moji pa manyo awe bananu badama be ajonha ajojon awe ba nyapa ticha nyoha no do ticha oda fia ticha obo yo mo vava go fia no nyaba yo yire takpe ko ba yo takpe patana yo kaka ago achi exako muti po gomu omo manonya yewiba adua va chimagba duko va hongo ba yo shama over hongo ba yina nya Aklo-Fuji.
Although residents have undertaken several self-help initiatives to fix portions of the road, they say only government intervention can produce a permanent solution. Some residents who spoke to Channel 1 News appealed to the authorities for urgent support.
Appealing to government to help us to finish the reshaping, and then we have to gravel the road, because without the gravel reshaping, if it rains heavy for some time, the road is well. So we are pleading to government to come to our aid. The reshaping, he left some small place to finish it. So we are pleading to the government to help us to finish the reshaping. Then after reshaping, we ourselves will start buying the gravels to fill the road. So we are pleading to the government to help us to get gravel to fill the road.
Alongside the road challenges is the worrying state of the community's chips compound. The facility operates from a deteriorating structure and lacks adequate medical equipment and essential staff to serve the growing population. With only 2 beds available, health workers say it is difficult to accommodate the number of patients who visit the facility. Residents say the situation places vulnerable groups, including pregnant women and children, at risk, particularly during emergencies.
We don't have enough space that can be used to admit patients when the need arises. We don't have staff bungalows, so currently only one of the nurse is staying at Akwafuji, and the one of them too have to live in other town to be coming to work every day. And when it rains, she suffered a lot before coming to work. If we were able to secure this cheap ponton for ourselves, I hope the government can come to support us.
The challenges also affect education in the community. The Akwafuji DA Basic and Junior High School is in need of major infrastructure improvements. School authorities and residents say inadequate classroom space and deteriorating structures are affecting effective teaching and learning. They are therefore calling on government to intervene and provide better facilities to ensure a safe and conducive environment for pupils.
Akwafuji Basic School currently is facing a lot of understaffing. We don't have much teachers in the school. We are currently having 6 teachers, and from KG to JHS3, they are woefully inadequate. And currently, we don't have KG block for the school, and is also one of the challenges. So we are in need of KG block. Also, our JHS block is under construction. There is no window, there is no doors, there is no plastering, there is no painting.
Now, from the Volta region, the proliferation of misinformation online has been amplified by the rise of artificial intelligence. Channel 1 News' Manuel Ayama explores the growing use of artificial intelligence to spread misinformation in Ghana and the public's awareness of this trend.
First snow in Ghana.
It may seem real, but clearly snow does not fall in Ghana. The lines between reality and fiction are blurring as artificial intelligence reshapes digital content. While AI offers benefits globally and in Ghana, its darker side quietly spreads misleading content online.
And disinformation is not something that actually started in a short while. It has been with us over a long period of time, right from the days of the printing press. But what has changed for now is the high quality, through the use of AI, the high quality of deceit, the speed with which it comes, and then the ability for it to convince people.
Can you tell the difference between an AI-generated content or video and one that is actually real? We are out on the streets of Accra to test the minds of people on whether they can be able to tell the difference between an actual video and one that is generated by AI.
Can you play it back? Is that not, it's a tall building.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I can see.
And do you think it's real? Does it look real to you?
Let me examine it well.
Be honest.
Oh yeah, it kind of look real. Yeah, because it's just a building with fire close to it, and it looks like the fire is coming out of the building.
Yeah, I can see that there are some fireworks happening at the back of the building.
it seems there's some conflict or war going on at the back of the building.
Okay. And you believe it based on what you see?
Actually, I believe this one is real.
I'm seeing Dubai being airstriked by missiles. Yeah, the Dubai building is being struck by air missiles. That's what I'm seeing.
So it looks real.
So what if I told you it's AI generated?
Oh, I will believe in some way because you can give AI a prompt that it should make the building look like there is fire coming out of it, like it's about to like explode or something.
It kind of looks hard to determine whether it's AI generated or not. But it looks very real.
Yeah, so what if I told you it's AI generated?
How is AI generated?
Yeah, it says.
I know AI generated videos. I can see if it is AI, because those videos look a little like cartoons, but this one look very real, very real.
So you don't think it's AI?
Yeah.
A report by Dubawa, a West African fact-checking organization, found over 17 AI-edited videos created to distort a local assault case in July 2025. One TikTok account, this AI24, generated millions of views with fake posts, including a fabricated TikTok ban in Ghana and deepfakes of public figures endorsing cryptocurrency platforms. Globally, AI-generated posts are also spreading rapidly on social media, often mistaken for reality. Ghana's Cybersecurity Authority is collaborating with social media organizations to curb the spread of misinformation. A new framework is being developed to also strengthen these responses, but gaps remain.
AI had also come as another form of digital way of doing things, which then means that it will certainly come up with its own challenges. That is why the Cybersecurity Authority is also trying to stay, afloat and also work to keep up with the technological advancement that the world is experiencing, of which Ghana is not excluded. So the relationship we have with them, even though we do not own the platform, the relationship we have with them is very effective, and we've done quite a number of takedowns with this platform owners with absolutely no challenge at all. The only challenge that I've mentioned to you earlier is that when you take down the videos, they keep reoccurring, which make the exercise a bit repetitive and cumbersome. But we are working on a framework that would take care of that, soon.
IC expert Maximus Ametogo notes that while controlling online spaces is important, existing gaps must be addressed through carefully designed frameworks that do not stifle creativity in the AI sector.
Usually, you don't want laws to stifle innovation, and you don't want laws to be behind innovation. You need laws to work in time with innovation or in rhythm with innovation, so that you don't kill the creativity of people. We need the laws, we need policies to be passed, and then the laws pass if AI is being abused for various things. If we're not able to go through that gradual process of passing a policy and then a law, we may end up pushing people into the underworld where they can use other apps that are not known to us as AI apps, or not the popular ones, to create content that they can easily post on the various social media platforms.
Ghana finalized its national AI strategy in February 2026 following extensive stakeholder engagement. The strategy aims to drive digital transformation across sectors like healthcare and agriculture while building capacity and promoting ethical AI practices.
For experts in the tech space, misinformation usually thrives because many can't really tell AI-generated content from real videos or real content. Well, Ghana's AI strategy seeks to bridge this gap, but only time will tell. For Channel 1 News, I am Manuel Ayama.
And that's how we wrap up this edition of the Channel 1 Newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. I am Charles Ozukume. Many thanks to you for watching.